Hi there, this is Racing on Waves Not Over There. This will be what if Deku had the powers of Archie Sonic and video game Sonic. This is part 5, by the way. In the last part, Shadow was training and getting a new transformation, not being his dark mind transformation, but his super form. When Melissa sees Shadow's hair turn from black to yellow, she wants to ask him, "Are you okay?" Shadow tells her, "I feel energized." Melissa tells Shadow, "This is different from your previous transformation." Shadow tells him, "What's the difference?" "Well, first off, you're speaking to me normally. Number 2, your hair is a different color." Shadow looks at her and asks her, "What do you mean speaking to you normally?" Melissa tells Shadow, "It's hard to explain, but you were speaking to me like you wanted a demand. That's all I can tell you." Shadow asks, "Is there anything unique about this form?" Melissa tells him, "Well, you have this golden aura and you're affecting the plant life around you." Shadow asks, "What do you mean?" "The plant life is going around you rapidly." Shadow tells her this transformation is very interesting. Melissa looks at Shadow and asks him, "Do you have any killer intentions?" Shadow looks at her and tells her, No, I don't." Shadow begins to hover off the ground. Melissa writes it down saying, "Apparently he can fly." Melissa tells her, "Okay, we're done testing for today, Shadow." Shadow tells her, "Okay, I'll be in my room." Melissa heads to her father and tells him it's a different transformation. David tells her what's different about the transformation. First off, he's glowing. Secondly, his pupils are normal. Number 3, he apparently can fly. Also, it doesn't change his personality. So David tells her, so this transformation, it doesn't affect his personality at all. This must be one of the good ones. I wonder, is there even more? Are they exactly like that purple one? Or are they going to be more like this? We cut to Deku and Miles. Miles is basically working on a machine until he feels something weird. He looks at Deku and tells him, "Did you feel something strange?" Deku basically spaced off and mouth out his phone, but sees that someone's calling him. He sees Knuckle calls him, and when he picks up, Knuckle asks him, "Did you feel that strange energy?" Deku responds with, "Yeah, I felt it too, but where is it coming from?" Knuckle asks Sonic, "Where do you think it's coming from?" Sonic tells him to shush. "I'm trying to figure out where it is." Tails looks at him and asks, "How are you going to do that?" Sonic tells him, "Well, I feel the energy. I can probably figure out where it is." Sonic stands for a minute and tells him it's somewhere in the city, but I can't tell where. Sonic stops for a minute and tells him, "Well, as far as I can go, I can only tell they're in the city. And it feels somewhat like mine, but different a little bit." Miles asks Deku, "So you think someone has the same energy as us?" Deku tells him there's no doubt about it, someone does. And 2 can play that game. Miles gives Deku a confused look, asking, "What do you mean?" But when it happens, Deku begins to float in the air and half his hair begins to turn yellow. Miles asks Deku, "What was that?" Deku looks at him and tells him, "Well, you know that energy you felt a few minutes ago before I did that?" Miles tells him, "Yeah." "Well, all I did was just match mine with theirs." Miles asks Deku, "What do you mean by match theirs with yours?" Deku tells him, "Well, I felt how to use your energy, so I tried to recreate it. And so I did, but barely." Miles tells Deku, "Can you do it again?" Deku looks at him and says, "Excuse me?" Miles tells him it will look like a transformation. "I want to see if you can go all the way. Can you or can you not?" Deku replies with, "Of course I can." Deku hops in place and tells Miles, "Are you ready?" Miles tells him, "Yeah." Before Miles even knows it, Deku runs into his bed and tells him, "We'll do this later." Miles looks at him saying, "What do you mean later?" Deku turns around and tells him, "When it's morning and we're outside and I won't break something on accident." "Oh, okay. By the way, we're also walking with Knuckles, since this house is not far from us." Deku tells Miles, "Okay." When the next day comes, when we begin to walk, Deku channels the chaos energy that's inside of him, turning his blue hair into golden, flying a little bit. Deku begins to fly around Knuckles. Knuckles wonders who this is. He jumps in the air and punches them, knocking Deku into his base form. After Knuckles punches Deku down, Deku rubs his face and tells him, "Well, it's nice to see you too." While Knuckles is walking off, Miles asks him, "Hey, remember that energy from last night? We were able to pinpoint it. Do you know who it belongs to?" Deku gets up and tells him, "Oh yeah, I forgot that your senses are better than mine. So, did you find out who it belongs to, Knucklehead?" Knuckles looks at him and tells him, "Sadly, but no." Miles tells him, "Wait a minute, are you sure?" Deku jumps in and tells him, "Yeah, one job, Knuckles. How did you mess it up?" Knuckles tells him, "Before you get on my case, I was tracking that person's energy. I almost found the street that they're on, but my mom called me, and I lost focus." Deku with a confused tone Basically asked him, so your mom called you? How come you need to rush back to her after you were done? Knuckle tells him, you know my mom runs a jewelry store, right? If I even space out for 1 minute, I'm getting punched in the back of the head. Miles walks between them and tells him, well, he has a valid point. Deku tells him, don't sweat it. Don't worry about that. We can just check another time. Besides, we have to worry about what's coming up in school. Once they get to the hero portion, All Might comes through the door saying, I'm coming through the door like a normal person. Everyone in the class begins to cheer. Shadow begins to look at him and wonders, how the hell is that coming through the door like a normal person? Once they get their costumes, if you guys are wondering what they look like, well, just go look at their previous parts and you'll see what they are. Once they walk out, Kirihime compliments Knuckles saying, I like your outfit. Knuckles responds with, thanks, your costume looks interesting too. When Deku walks out, Amy walks up to him and tells him, Deku, your costume looks really cool. While she's saying that, she walks up closer to Deku. Deku blushes and tells him, yeah, thanks, your costume looks really good too. He looks at Tails saying, hey buddy, your costume looks cool. Oh, for Uraraka's outfit, just make up Amy's dress with Uraraka's hero outfit, mix them together, and that's what her costume is in this one. When Todoroki and Momo comes out, Todoroki tells her, I like your shoes, they really match your outfit. Momo looks at him and tells him, thanks, I like your jacket, it really matches your shoes. But everyone's talking about their costume, Deku has a weird feeling that someone else has chaos energy inside them, so he decides to charge it up himself. Once that happens, Shadow looks directly at him, and Deku sees him, basically saying bingo in his head. But unknowns to them, Silver looks at Shadow, basically saying, what was that? That energy? Did it come from him? No, the reason why Todoroki is looking at Shadow because he's standing right in front of Sonic, not directly in front of him, but a few feet away from him. When it comes towards the sensing chaos energy in this series, Silver is the one that comes second to last. The one that comes in last place is Amy. When it comes towards who's able to sense it the best in this series, it's a tie between Knuckles and Shadow. When it comes towards the middle, it's Deku and Miles. If you guys are wondering, I'm just putting this in this what if. Anyway, when it comes towards sensing the energy, Silver sees that as Shadow, but not realizing that it's Deku. Anyway, he begins to try to do it himself, but once he does that, when he charges up a little bit of chaos energy, he catches two eyes. One of them is Shadow and the other one is Knuckles, looking at the white-haired kid saying he has it too. Shadow looks at him saying, another one? Once All Might gets the picture team, Shadow looks at Deku and gets in a death glare. After that, Deku gives him a surprised look. Then after that, he gives him a cocky smile. Deku and Shadow stare each other down. While that's happening, Todoroki looks at Shadow. While Todoroki is looking at Shadow, Knuckles looks at Todoroki. While Knuckles is looking at Todoroki, Momo has a weird feeling and looks at Knuckles. He sees that he's staring at Todoroki, wondering why. After only picks, the partners are staying the same. Once they get inside the building and Deku meets up with Shadow, he basically looks at him and about to ask him, are you a clone of All Might? Deku tells him, huh, we finally meet face to face. What should I call you? Deku begins to put his hand on his chin, looking Shadow up and down. Before Shadow can say anything, Deku tells him, you look like an edgelord to me. Uraraka is about to get ready to chime in. Deku tells her to go get the bomb. Uraraka tells her maybe after one date. Deku tells her again, but just a little bit louder, saying go get the bomb. Uraraka tells him, okay, I will. Deku looks at Shadow and tells him, it's been nice talking to you, and run towards him. But even though Shadow uses chaos control and slows down time and run past Deku. Deku is baffled. He looks right behind him and sees that Shadow is at the end of the hallway. He says that energy, he used it before. What did he do? Did he teleport right behind me? Shadow looks at him and tells him this game is over. Deku thinks, oh no, he's going after Uraraka. But before he can run, he trips and sees that his legs are tied up. We cut to Uraraka, about to hit Edith with her hammer. But before he can do that, someone right behind her puts their finger up to the back of her head, making it a gun shape, telling her to drop her weapon. Amy tells him okay and drops her hammer, but before she drops it completely on the floor, she grabs it at the end and starts swinging around. When Uraraka tries to swing her hammer at Shadow, Shadow dodges her and kicks her right into Edith's arms, grabbing her. After that, All Might declares the villain team wins. Deku's ears perked up, hearing that he lost the challenge, saying, what? After that, they begin to walk downstairs, and Uraraka sees Deku tied up. When Uraraka sees Deku, she basically asks him what happened. Deku tells him, I don't know, he just zoomed right past me. Uraraka asks him, does that mean that he's faster than you? Deku tells him, not a chance, he must have used some weird ability. While Shadow was walking past him, Uraraka asks him, well, can you explain what happened? Deku tells him, I already told you, he just ran right past me. I thought I could grab him, but I didn't. And when I turned around, my feet were already tied up. When Shadow's leaving the building, he basically says, so he saw me when I did that? How fast is he? And is there anyone else like me with his energy, or is he just another clone? After she untied Deku, she basically asked him, so what's his problem? Rocket tells him, he looks like a villain if you ask me. Deku tells him, you can't judge a book by its cover, and plus, if he is, we'll get there when we get there. When it was Miles and Yajirozu's turn, they basically conquered it very easily with Tails' machinery and her flames. When it came towards Knuckles, well, Knuckles already won. When it came towards Todoroki, he basically lifted the entire building and took the bomb out, declaring him the winner. When the school day ends, Deku, Miles, and Knuckles begin to walk home. While they're walking off, someone calls them by their name, and she says Uraraka, while Ida walking with her too. When Shadow looks out the window, he sees Deku. Deku looks at him and sticks his tongue out. Shadow responds with the middle finger and walking off. Shadow runs off. Momo tells him to slow down. He must be still in the building. Shadow bumps into All Might. Momo asks him, hey, have you seen this kid with black hair and red highlights? All Might tells him, oh yeah, he left just a few minutes ago. When Shadow gets home, Melissa asks, how was your day? Shadow responds with, not good. Some blue-haired kid was annoying me. After Shadow's done responding, he sits down and sees that Melissa's watching the news with All Might on it. A few seconds pass, he asks, what does it mean to be a hero? Melissa wonders for a bit and tells him, well, last time I checked, hero put villain behind bars and tried to do the right thing. Shadow looks at her with a confused look saying, that's it? Melissa tells her, yeah, that's it so far. Shadow tells him, with that type of logic, I can see some gray areas right there. Melissa tells him, don't worry, when you become a hero, you'll be a hero just like All Might. After Shadow hears this, he gets a sad look and just walks off. While Melissa says, where are you going? Shadow tells her, to my room, with a depressed tone. Melissa thinks to herself, saying, a few minutes ago, he was just talking to me normally. Now he's sad. After thinking about it a little bit, saying, oh, I forgot he's a clone. Oh, and he doesn't want to be like All Might. David tells her, no, he just don't want to be compared to him. David tells his daughter, all I can get from Shadow is that he doesn't like All Might because he don't like his methods. Shadow told me, whenever he sees All Might, all he sees is just a flashy, strong hero that's doing his half-assed job being the number one. Melissa responds with, oh, so that's why you told me that. David looks at her daughter and tells her, told you what? I asked Shadow what type of hero he wants to be. He said, a hero that would change the system. David looks at her daughter and wonders, what does he mean by change the system? Alright, thank you for watching, and I hope you all enjoy.